Hello, and welcome to Haddonfield. I am Nick Lathan.
And I'm Peyton Lynch.
And
should I introduce our guest?
yes, you have to up front. We're doing Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, first of all. Now Peyton introduce the guest so he can talk.
We're here with my friend Steven Barroga.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
You got a good radio voice.
I've done a little bit before.
Stepping. I gotta step my game up now.
Oh, no.
I gotta step my game up now. Peyton arrived here 30 minutes early, so I couldn't get a nap. And now I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I can't have a nap in 30 minutes. That's too short a time.
I didn't plan it, okay?
Well, and you interrupted, so.
I was watching BoJack Horseman because the new season's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
September 14th on Netflix. Not a promotion.
Honestly,
a nice plug.
I hope it gets better because, it's so good, but I hope it gets more upbeat because it's literally gotten more depressing every episode, and I'm like, I'm just gonna kill myself after this next season.
That's what they're trying. That's what they're going for.
Slowly kill us all, just like the characters in this movie.
Good God. All right. Steve, we're going to ask you the question we ask every guest. How did you get into Halloween? The film franchise.
Oh, the whole, gotcha. So I first saw it when I was way too young, probably maybe 8 years old. I have two older brothers. One is 2 years older than me, and one is 10 years older. And my oldest brother, poor guy, because because of the age difference, he always got roped into being our babysitter. Then my parents could just go out and leave him with us.
Nice.
And my other brother and I, we would always convince him to show us movies that our parents would never let us watch. And my whole family are horror buffs. My mom raised us on Edgar Allan Poe stories and things like that. And,
that's really cool.
And I was afraid of everything as a little kid. I could not handle. I remember watching the Halloween special episode of Boy Meets World, and it freaking me out. And
is that the Scream one?
Yeah. But so that's the thing is it was one time my parents were out, and my oldest brother's favorite movie was Scream. He's a child of the 90s, so that was the big horror movie of that time that he was into, and we had him. We convinced him to let us watch it, and I couldn't get through it. I cried, and I made him turn it off and all that. But I don't know what it was. There's just something about the horror genre that I was bound and determined to like. Mm-hmm. There's something I was just my whole family's into this thing. I need to be a part of it. And so it was almost like I forced myself to sit through scary things. So down the road, my parents went out again, and we watched. We convinced my brother to show us Halloween. Mm-hmm. So we watched it, and the whole time watching, I'm like, I'm fine. This is going well. Is it okay? I'm gonna get through it. And I did. I sat through the whole thing. I was fine. My brother puts us to bed, and as I'm falling asleep that night, I start crying because I was just so afraid, and I didn't watch it again for years. But then,
how old were you at this point?
I was eight years old.
Okay,
and I was I was again way too young to have watched it. And I don't even remember the actual experience of watching the movie. I just remember that the tears afterward. but then when I
remember the tears,
yeah. But when I was in high school. Was when I first discovered The Thing, and The Thing is my favorite John Carpenter movie, and I'm obsessed with that movie, and I was I want to watch everything else by him, and I was oh, this is the guy that did Halloween. So then I watched it again, probably was freshman, sophomore year of high school, and then fell in love with it at that point. And I'd only ever seen the original Halloween, and then really only about a year ago, Peyton showed me Halloween 2.
Yeah.
And as of now, Halloween 1, 2, and 3 are the only movies in the franchise that I've seen.
So now we're going to get into the movie, but before that, we're going to do the other segment.
It's your favorite segment,
It's my favorite segment, Drive-In Totals. Now, I posted Joe Bob Briggs' Drive-In Totals on the Instagram account, so you can watch those there. It is Welcome to Haddonfield on Instagram, very simple. If you don't
follow that,
you should follow it. We post a lot of dumb shit. Basically, anything we talk about making on the show, it appears on that account. So, this includes. So, we're just going to do spoilers up front. So, this includes every death, including robots and people.
It's very distinct.
Yeah. So, the totals for this movie are 34 dead bodies.
Oh my God.
We got a skull ripping. We got an exploding car. We got a very annoying commercial. got a drunk doctor, an unbelievably fast relationship, a drunk who gets his head ripped off, a laser-faced woman, yellow goo drilled to the head, face melting, and multiple snake bites.
Nice.
Is that everything?
I think so.
I think that checks out.
That's as much as I care to remember, you know?
Jesus Christ. This movie, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's start.
Opening credits, I love.
Yeah, I think it's so cool that they sort of stay true to the first two movies by doing another pumpkin credits, but like in its own way that it's distinctly its own movie.
Yeah.
That is one thing I will say this movie does very well, is or at least that I liked, is it kind of how it sort of does a good job of mashing together the old and the new, of the idea of like this old world witchcraft thing, but in this kind of technology ridden cyber world with like TVs and science and all of that, and then those opening credits of like this new age of the Halloween franchise, and that's really showing that with like kind of this like digital animation. I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. The cool part about it to me is the sound effects of like the beeping noises.
Yeah,
that's like John
really
Carpenter
good.
on the score doing that.
Yeah.
I thought that was so cool.
I will say, like, I think this is also one of my favorite John Carpenter scores I've heard.
Yeah.
The music is really good.
Yeah.
It's one of the it's one of the better parts of this movie for sure.
And I just like imagine being in the theater, like seeing those credits, being like, "Ooh, what's going on? This is so different from the last two."
Yeah. Most definitely. Most deaf. I'm just gonna keep saying most deaf. Yeah, at first I was like, what the hell? Because I haven't seen this movie in like a couple
I didn't
years.
remember the credits.
And I was like, what the hell's going on? I was like, oh yeah, they're doing the digital pumpkin.
Although I did guess it was a pumpkin before it revealed.
Oh, yeah, of
I was
course.
Like,
It's like the
gonna be
Atari
a
version.
pumpkin. It's gonna be a pumpkin.
This is the Jeff Bridges from Tron. He made this pumpkin. Let's see. Yeah, Dean Cundy, he's back again.
My hero.
My boy.
Yeah.
My boy Dean
He was the
Cundy.
effects guy, right?
No, he's a director of photography.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. You have to remind me that every time.
He did Jurassic Park. He did Back to the Future.
It's all coming back to me now.
He did all the any movie John Carpenter made with Dean Cundy is amazing. Yeah.
The cinematography is good.
Yeah. Thank you, Peyton.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm an expert at cinematography, and I say this one was good.
Let's see. Deborah Hill did not write this one, and you can tell.
And you can tell. Yeah. You can tell this whole script was written by a man, and that's it.
Yeah. Just one man. Yeah. Well, it was written by...
Well, the story was written by someone, and then it got updated, I think, or something, right?
I forget his name. Let's IMDb real quick. Talk while I do this.
Okay.
Who, the director? Tommy Lee Wallace?
Well, I think Tommy Lee Wallace did rewrites on it, I think.
Because there were like two different writers
There's a big drama behind it.
in the Wikipedia that I read.
Wikipedia page, yeah.
It was Nigel Neal who wrote it, and he was offended by it.
Yeah, no, he walked away apparently.
Yeah, he wrote the script and then hated what they... Because John Carpenter rewrote it. He hated that
Yeah.
and demanded his name being taken off.
Oh no.
And then Tommy Lee Wallace just he's the sole writer credit,
Yeah.
even though 3 people wrote it.
Yeah.
I don't know why John Carpenter didn't want his name on this bad Larry.
I guess a mystery for the time. I don't know.
mystery.
Something we'll never know.
A mystery for the times. But yeah. And then where do we go to from there? Oh yeah.
It's instantly Henry Grimbridge running, right?
October 23rd.
Yeah.
He's running in the rain? No, rain comes later. And like, what is he being chased? And he goes to a junkyard.
Yeah.
And then he has a mask, and then these guys fight him, and
Yeah.
that whole part. This whole opening sequence.
They're like body snatcher. They act like the body snatchers a little bit.
Yeah. Then that's... Oh my
We
God.
don't know they're robots until late into the movie, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's just creepy. Just creepy assassin dudes. But I hate that they keep using the same scare.
Yeah. Of someone
Where
just
they
running.
where they cover their mouth or whatever.
No, it's like it's just shot, and all of a sudden the dude enters the frame, and
Right.
And
press
he's
a
just
note,
standing there.
and it's like it happens like 5 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, we get it.
Yeah.
Every time these guys enter a frame, synthesizers play. Oh man, but yeah, it's a bit of a I mean, it's a different Halloween, so it's going from the Michael Myers one, so it's going to be a different opening.
Yeah, it's a completely different feel for sure.
Yeah, it's so weird.
This movie almost feels more like a sci-fi than it does like a horror movie.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for all the killings, I would say it was like a sci-fi.
One for them damn killings. So yeah, the guy, they always try to like choke you with their. Does that work?
With their hands, I don't really understand what they're doing. They're always like covering their mouths and then trying to choke them.
Going for the vitals.
I don't understand why when he's choking the guy and then the guy pulls the car over that the robot doesn't get out of the way.
Because
he's on a mission.
He sees the car coming, he knows, and then he just gets squished. I wrote crash, squish, kill.
Yeah. Yeah, I just said kill number 1, guy crushed by a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part is, why doesn't he get up? Yeah, and
I guess they're just like so programmed to do what they're so programmed to think they're expendable, maybe that they just like let stuff happen to them.
I think Cochran was too worried about programming and the fact that they could sneeze.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's like,
it's the
so
details that count.
Even though they don't talk, they can sneeze, but they don't talk. Well, they do talk. One of them talks later, I guess.
Yeah, one of the lab guys.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, the people in the lab coats, they can talk.
Yeah.
These guys can't talk.
Yeah.
They can sneeze.
Yeah.
But if they see a car coming at them, they can't get out of the way. Like, Mr. Cochran.
Well, he's into practical jokes. So.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate joke, is to have it just his henchmen get killed. Which brings it up, I guess this guy who got crushed by the car, Silver Shamrock must have come and gotten him, or else we would have another Teddy situation in which they were doing an autopsy.
Yeah. Well, no, because he doesn't die on the site, so nobody saw that happen there.
The guy. No, I'm talking about at the junkyard.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Where the guy got
There would have
crushed.
been like an autopsy of the body there.
I want to see that episode of The X-Files. Anytime I think of an autopsy, I think of Dana Scully. Mm-hmm. So I just want to.
She's like, this man is a machine.
And then somebody tries to come in and kill her.
What would he say to her that would be like so wild, and she'd be like, or it's something else?
Yeah. Yeah, Mulder would just like say it's like an extraterrestrial type, like
and
body
like,
snatcher type replacement.
And
She's like, it's clearly a toy.
It's clearly like an animatronic from Walt Disney World. Okay, so
this is Abraham Lincoln. Oh man! And then he runs. He of course gets away. And then the part that I love the most is that it starts raining, and then it just says 1 hour later.
Yeah.
Why did you have to put that?
Yeah,
there's no need for that.
Come up with that, like.
It could have been 10 minutes later.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it could have been 10 minutes later.
It's to show he's tired.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess this is to show that like he's been running for 1 hour straight, and that's why he's so exhausted. Maybe that's why.
And that's why he like passes out. I guess. I don't
Before he
understand.
says.
I don't understand like how he like got half choked and then didn't pass out until an hour later. Like I don't know what happens to him.
I don't know.
I don't understand.
He's running in the rain for an hour.
Yeah.
And
But
where's
we
he
get
running
that.
to?
Yeah.
Like, what's his?
I guess maybe that's just like the first gas station he came up.
Well, later on in the movie, Dan goes
Runs
there.
there, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it's just like the closest fuel station.
Oh, that's true.
That's
So I
probably
guess
the
he was running
closest
away
thing,
from the factory.
outside of
Gotcha.
Santa
That makes
Mira.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Santa Mira. By the way, the name of this episode, it's going to be called Greetings from Santa Mira.
Oh, nice. Welcome to Haddonfield. Call in. Greetings from Santa.
Greetings from Santa Mira.
We also get like that important exposition about like part of Stonehenge is missing on the TV.
Ugh, and it's so annoying. I hate it when they do like exposition on the TV.
Yeah.
Stonehenge.
And then it doesn't come back until.
This is
And we
Stone
get our
Jacobs,
first- we
BBC
get our
America.
First preview at that lovely jingle.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm ever going to get that out of my head.
Oh god.
And I probably would never have watched this movie if it wasn't for being asked to be on this podcast. So fuck you guys.
You will every time if it's 8 more days till Halloween, you will get that shit.
I know, like seriously, every Halloween now. That's what I say. But okay, so maybe this is a good time for my little factoid that I learned in my Wikipedia research. I realized that the 8 More Days to Halloween jingle, or the Silver Shamrock jingle, is to the tune of London Bridges.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, it was funny. I just looked up London Bridges because I couldn't remember the last line. The My Fair Lady, for whatever reason. I was like, as I was singing in my head, I couldn't think of My Fair Lady. So I Googled London Bridges, and then I kind of fell into this hole of reading about the origin of the nursery rhyme, and the nursery rhyme is from like the late Middle Ages or so, and according to Wikipedia, there are several like legends as to what the song is actually about, and one of the theories is that London Bridges, that the nursery rhyme is actually about that during the building of a certain bridge in England, human sacrifices, specifically children, were made at the base of the bridge to ensure that the bridge would stay up. So I'm wondering if that was a conscious choice that the makers of Halloween 3 were making, of using that tune for their jingle with this whole illusion of children and human sacrifice and all that.
That's a really crazy coincidence.
I think you're giving them too much credit.
I might be, but as I was like reading, I was like, oh man.
I read on IMDb, Tommy Lee Wallace is like, it's in the public domain, right? Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
That's a crazy coincidence.
But you know, Tommy Lee Wallace, if you ever listen to this, you can take credit for that.
And thank you for donating $5 to Arcade Audio's Patreon. Why would you do that? I don't know what Tommy Lee Wallace. By the way, Salem's Lot. You didn't direct that. Did you direct Salem's Lot?
No, Toby Hooper directed that.
Was that Toby Hooper?
Yeah.
No, he did It. I always get those two mixed up.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy Lee Wallace, I apologize. It's really good. Funny story, Tommy Lee Wallace. We rented It from Blockbuster one time, and my cousin Chris put the second DVD in first, so we saw the end of the movie before we saw the beginning. We were all very confused. But yeah, the Stonehenge bit could also be connected to London Bridge.
Yeah. I'm wondering if this was all planned, and maybe there's something underneath this movie.
Tommy Lee Wallace, write us in. I just set up an email address. It is welcome-to-Haddonfield@gmail.com. Please, Tommy Lee Wallace. Or can I just call you Tommy Wallace? I don't know. Anyway, the funniest part about that commercial to me, he goes, yes, kid, you too could own one of the big Halloween 3.
Oh, he does?
Well, yeah.
Oh, no.
One of the things that I read was that the witch and the skeleton masks were actually masks that were being produced in real life at that time. But then the pumpkin mask was made specifically for this movie, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, they released these back then.
Yeah.
And now you can get them on Trick or Treat Studios. I'm gonna buy one. They're $60. That's expensive for a mask.
Does it come with the button on the back?
Yes, it does.
How many days till Halloween? Do we know?
I don't know.
Too many.
Too many for the song.
Too many for the song. We don't be like 23 days to Halloween.
Yeah, how many days in advance did they air this commercial?
How long has it been airing?
364 days till Halloween. Like, Jesus Christ. No wonder Silver Shamrock's the #1 in mask selling, because they annoy the shit out of everybody.
Like, fine, we'll buy it. Just don't play the song.
I thought this during the movie. I was like, I would be so bitter about the commercials that I'd be like, my kids are making their own fucking costumes. Yeah. We're not giving money to this company.
It's so damn annoying. But yeah, you can own one of the big Halloween 3, and I'm like, come on, guys.
I didn't catch that.
Come on, guys. So stupid. And of course, old dude. What's his name? I just wrote down his name was Papa.
Who?
The guy with the mask who's running. What was his name?
Oh, Henry. Sorry, his name's Henry Grimbridge.
Yeah. When he says, "They're coming to the gas station attendant. Yeah. They're coming to kill us all."
Yeah.
And then it cuts to a tow truck.
The gas station attendant is apparently named Walter Jones, played by Essex Smith.
Who is apparently the sweetest junkyard person in the world.
Yeah,
who just wants to
really
help people.
Nice. And like, especially because like when he brings him to the hospital, he's like, I want you to know, like, I just found him this way. Like, like you can tell like he's had some trouble with the law or something.
Yeah.
I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah, that's so funny. And then from there, we're introduced to Tom Atkins and his mustache.
Yeah.
I have a theory about Tom Atkins and his mustache.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All right, so Tom Atkins with a mustache, movie's going to be good. Tom Atkins without a mustache, movie's going to be bad. Examples of good mustache movies include Lethal Weapon, Escape from New York. What was the other one? Night of the Creeps. Night of the Creeps, a movie.
Does he have a mustache in The Fog?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, well, I like The Fog, so
yeah,
maybe that theory is broken.
Maybe that's the exception. I would say.
Also Creepshow, he doesn't have a mustache.
He doesn't have a mustache in Creepshow?
Also, he has
At least I don't think so. I don't.
He has a mustache in this movie, and I feel ambivalent as to whether it was a good one.
The point is, he thinks it's okay to harass coworkers in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get to that in a moment.
All right, while you're talking, I'm going to research Tom Atkins' mustaches. Now, that's a theory that...
we also meet his wife, who's...
Nancy Loomis.
Nancy Loomis, who played Annie in the first 2 movies. And, like, we're supposed to believe she's a bad mom, but she's, like, a good mom.
She just wants a present father figure.
Yeah, exactly.
For her children.
Also, like, he grabs a drink before he goes to the hospital, and she's like drinking and doctoring, great occupation.
He's the biggest piece of shit.
Yeah,
it's pretty clear why he's single.
Why he's single. Well, no, it's not, because like every single woman in this movie is attracted to him and like wants to sleep with him.
That's Stash. New title for this episode: Greetings from Tom Atkins' Stash.
It's so weird because you can tell it's his real mustache, but it looks like a mustache that would be like a costume.
Hey, quit talking shit about Tom Atkins' mustache. Now, there's a theory that Edgar Wright has where it really makes me laugh that whenever Kevin Kline's in a drama movie, no mustache. When he does comedy, mustache.
Well, I think that's a good theory.
You could say that for Robin Williams too. His bearded Robin Williams is his drama roles.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Except, well, I guess Mrs. Doubtfire would be a dramedy.
And Night at the Museum.
Oh, true.
Teddy Roosevelt stash. Pure comedy. I think if it's beard, it's drama. But if it's mustache, it's comedy.
I would have loved this movie 100 times more if the doctor was actually Nancy Loomis and he was like the
I would love to see that movie.
Yeah, where he was like the parent with the kids and she was the one like who was a doctor and was like, yeah, fuck these kids. Like,
well, because you know she would play it as like an early Grey's Anatomy-esque like no nonsense doctor.
Exactly.
Kind of. It would be so badass.
Yeah, it would have been so good.
But yeah, she was probably like, listen, I've been in 2 of these already. That's probably what happened. They wrote this movie for her and she was like, no.
Oh, as for the Nancy role or for the
doctor role,
the Ellie
she
role?
was like, "No, I've done this 2 times. I just want to yell over the phone. I literally want to phone in my performance." Yeah, I wrote down, "What's up with these movies and drunk doctors?" This is the second Halloween movie in a row we have a drunk doctor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Sam Loomis, he might be drunk too. You never know.
You never know.
Horrible
I
eyesight.
would believe it for sure. Yeah.
I wrote down again, this commercial was probably the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah.
I love that it comes on in the most, like, do they air it that much that it always comes on? Like, let me turn on the TV.
It's on.
That's how often they run that shit. They're like, we want wall-to-wall shamrocks. Let's see. And then he gets to the hospital. They're going to kill us. All of us.
I put that down, too.
God.
Yeah, and then he grabs the nurse's ass, yeah.
Yeah, I wrote down mysterious men in suits. Another scare of the guy coming in.
Yeah.
And then the ass slapping. But hey, she's like, listen here, some bitch.
And she slaps him back, yeah.
Slaps him right
but
back.
Still.
Okay, and then my thing with this death, yeah, I'm trying to get through this movie fast because there's a lot of shit going on. The O.J. Simpson gloves that he puts on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That confused me. The second time I watched that movie, I was like, wait a minute. If he's a robot...
Yeah, why does he care?
There's
and
another
then he
time...
takes the time to wipe the blood off before he goes outside and kills himself.
That is the part that got me. I was like, why does he... Why? Why did he wipe his gloves off?
He pulls apart his skull. It's really cool looking. Though.
Yeah, no, that is... When I watched this the other day for the first time,
that was frightening.
When it got to that, I was like, "Oh, damn!"
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best part of this movie is that gag.
Yeah.
It's
we'll get to the homeless person, but
I wrote down like, why did he wipe the gloves off?
If he's just gonna go outside and like kill himself,
why put the gloves on if he was gonna wipe? Like, what's the point of the gloves? Did he need the gloves to aid his lower arm strength?
Maybe the robots are like starting to get. I'm giving too much credit to the movie, but like they're starting to like develop personalities, and he just like didn't want to get his hands dirty.
And then he doused himself in gasoline.
He was like not clean enough, and then he blew himself up.
Not clean enough.
Extremely OCD.
Cochran's like, I have my one robot that sneezes.
Yeah.
I have my other robot that's a neat freak.
And this one makes balloon animals. Bring him in, Jerry.
All right, I have to take a second to nod to again, as cinematography is one of the things I do, and Dean Cundey has always been a hero of mine, and I will say. It had at this moment when the nurse screams and Tom Atkins runs out of his office has one of the best like Dean Cundey down a hallway shots I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
running down.
Yeah,
I was trying to look it up because I know when Halloween came out, Steadicams weren't being used and they're using the Panaglide, and I couldn't figure out if a Steadicam was using this camera or if they were still using the Panaglide for it. But that shot when he runs out of his office and down the hallway to the scene is just so good. The way it almost Dutch angles as it follows down the hallway, and it's really neat tracking.
That stuck out to me the second time I watched it.
Yeah.
Just him running down the hallway. Dean Cundey.
He's great. What I love about him too, whenever he works with John Carpenter, is the way he uses colored light. You know, like in The Thing, the base always has these blue lights everywhere, and then like he uses a lot of red in Halloween. But in this movie, whenever that commercial comes on, and then it cuts to a reverse of the person watching it, the way green just splashes across their face is like really, really neat.
His use of colors in Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah,
Most of all,
he's amazing.
God, ugh. We're gonna do another podcast. It's gonna be called
Just on Dean Cundey.
No, it's just gonna be on Big Trouble in Little China. We're gonna do like the Star Wars
10
minute.
episodes of Big Trouble in Little China.
Now we're gonna do like the Star Wars minute, which each episode is about a minute of the Star Wars movies. We're gonna do the Big Trouble in Little China minute, and I'm fine with that. Everybody's welcome back to that show. It's just gonna be me hosting by myself, though. Oh man.
After that's when we meet Ellie.
But before that, I wrote they make Nancy Loomis the worst person ever.
Why?
Because he's talking on the phone, telling him there's been a death, and she's like, like making him feel like a dick about it.
Well, I think that like they try to make it seem like she's bad, but I bet he has called and given her like bad excuses like forever.
Yeah, she's like, you're
I bet
drunk.
she's like, you're lying. Like I bet he's lied about stuff like that before. He's like, oh, I had this really bad accident at the hospital, and she's like, yeah, you're a fucking liar and a creep.
Also, did anyone pay attention to the fireman that's standing next to him?
No.
It is so funny because at one point Tom Atkins, he's trying to explain this thing to Nancy Loomis, and he just turns to this extra who's a fireman, and this fireman is just leaning with a cup of coffee, and he goes, "My wife," and then the fireman's like, just like he's so overreacting, and like he wears this ridiculous yellow helmet, and there's just a felt letter F taped to it, and every time he nods his head, you can see it just like flop around. And go back and watch it. It's the funniest like extra ever.
That's pretty fucking funny. The part that cracks me up about this is as soon as he gets off the phone, a cop walks up and gets on the phone, and I was like, did they just have one phone in this hospital?
They just have one phone in the whole hospital.
And the next day, Sunday the 24th.
Sunday, yeah, we meet Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of reminds me of she kind of looks like Jessica Harper a little bit from Suspiria.
Suspiria.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, a little bit. I thought it was her for a second, and I had to look it up.
Star of Suspiria and Phantom of the Paradise.
Yeah,
great movie.
I always got to reference Phantom of the
I
Paradise.
haven't seen it, but I definitely
That is
should.
a really good movie.
My main question: why haven't they moved his body to the morgue yet? They just still got him on the bed.
It's evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a small town and the morgue is far away. I don't know. It's interesting. So, yeah, because she came all the way from... How far away from California is this supposed to be?
This is supposed to be Northern California.
Northern California. Okay, so she came from, like, L.A. or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So 8 hours.
Okay.
Drove 8 hours in a panic just to see her dad with the bridge of his nose ripped off.
Yeah.
Good God. Could you imagine getting killed that way?
No.
Could you imagine getting killed? That's this week's segment.
Period.
Halloween 3, could you imagine?
getting killed?
Yeah.
That was
This week's segment, we kill somebody.
I know, like, a lot of people were mad about this movie not being about Michael Myers, but they really dug themselves in the grave when they called it Halloween 3. Like, they should have just called it Halloween Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
Or just Season of the Witch.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but like, I mean, I see where they were like, we wanted to make an anthology, so you can call it Halloween, but putting the 3 at the end of it, that's like, I think it's going to be a continuation of the movie.
I feel like this movie would have done a lot better if Halloween 2 hadn't been made.
Yeah.
Because I think it was way too confusing, the fact that you had 2 movies with the same title that were synonymous with each other. And then there's this third one, so of course everyone's going to expect it to be still a continuation. So I don't know. I think maybe that, other than reasons within the movie, at least in terms of how it was marketed, I think that may have been one of the things of why it performed poorly.
For sure.
I'm thinking about it. Been thinking about it recently, and I used to like 3 more than 2, but I think I like 2 more than 3.
Ooh.
I know I should have saved this for the end of the podcast, but 2 was brought up, and I feel like I should say this. I'm glad 2 was made.
And then we meet. Anything else we should say about Ellie before we move on? Well, there'll be more to say later.
Yeah, why have they moved his body to the morgue? That's my main question. There's not really... It's just so funny that it's like, it goes to Sunday the 24th, and then like there's like that one scene, and then it's Wednesday the 27th.
Is that when we see him with Teddy?
Yeah, at the coroner/dentist office. That's what I
wrote. In episode 2, I thought the coroner was the dentist. Because they're checking the dental records. So I was like, that's right. The dentist.
The part that cracks me up is like the sheriff in this town. He was like, guy's probably on drugs.
Yeah.
Coming in here ripping faces off. Guy's probably on drugs. Lights himself on fire. He's on drugs. Right, I don't know why he has that voice. Bay. These guys coming in with their suits, the 3-piece suits and the gloves.
Well, I mean, they all look like they're robots from Wall Street, so it's probably like cocaine. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
But yeah, the Charlie Sheen coming in.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just like, why is anybody attracted to Dan, the doctor? Like, everybody wants him. The mustache. Nick's pointing to his mustache. For those of you who are listening at home.
That's why. I think
it's irresistible.
But yeah.
This is the question I wrote early on, and we're confused the entire movie. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck does he have that handkerchief stuck in his back pocket the entire fucking movie?
I was going to look because you told me and I didn't look.
Yeah,
like a handkerchief in his back pocket.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, what?
It's an interesting touch because it's like, that was like code for like gay sex, like in the old days, like in the 80s. So
really?
Like weird. Like that they put in the movie. Yeah. It was like when in the old days, like when you were trying to like hook up and you had to do it in secret, you would put like different colored handkerchiefs in your back pocket, and like depending on what color it was, it would like signal to other men like what kind of sex you were looking for. Yeah.
So like a grinder.
Yeah, basically Grinder, but in the 1980s.
Analog Grinder.
Yeah.
So the handkerchief is the
So I don't know what color
Grindr.
is his handkerchief.
Blue.
Oh, I think that means. I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but I think that means he's like a bottom.
Tom Atkins, if you're listening, let us know.
Please write in.
But yeah, the part that she's like Teddy's talking to Dan. She's like, ripped his skull apart. He's got some great lower arm strength.
Wait, she said they ripped his skull apart?
Yeah.
That's weird.
No, that is what happened because he put his fingers in there.
She's talking about Henry. I thought you meant the robot.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Which the robot, Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place with
you're okay.
This shit. It's just so ridiculous to me.
This movie has a lot of layers.
The funniest part was how calm he was when he lit himself on fire.
Yeah. It was his programming.
It was his programming. He knew he had to be disarmed.
He had washed his hands.
Yeah. When you program these robots to do these things, make sure they're calm about it every time. You have a lot of demands, Mr. Cochran. Listen, we spared no expense. I know this is a quote from a film that Dean Cundy also was a DP of. Oh, man. All right, and then from there we go to Friday the 29th.
Is that when he sees Halloween on TV at the bar?
And he's at the bar, and they're watching this cartoon, and I wrote down, is all form of entertainment in this timeline annoying?
Yes.
Because he's like watching the most annoying fucking cartoon ever.
Well, he hates it, too, because he asks the guy to change it.
And then it goes to the Halloween TV ad. So last week we're questioning about whether or not this took place in the same universe.
And it's not, because Halloween's a movie in this universe.
That's so weird. Maybe it takes place in our universe.
Whoa. I want them to have made another Halloween movie, and somewhere in the background there's a TV of that scene, so it's someone watching Tom Atkins watching Halloween.
Listen, it hadn't happened yet, but it will. We should do that in our remake of this movie.
Yeah. I want to remake this movie with the wife as the lead. Well, actually, I want to remake this movie with Ellie as the lead.
Yeah, Ellie is a lead, and instead of a doctor, he's a fucking detective.
Well, I was just telling Steven, I was like, it doesn't make sense that she's not the lead because she's the one who has all the stakes. Like, it's her dad that got killed.
Yeah.
Like, she's the reason. Like, the doctor doesn't really have any stakes in, like, what happens. He's just, like, nosy and, like, is hot for her.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to
like.
He's like this girl has daddy issues.
Yeah.
Let me follow her around for a bit.
Dad, so.
You have dad issues. I have a mustache. That proves I'm a dad. Yeah, that would
doesn't make sense to me that she's not written as the lead character.
Yeah, it's very unbelievable that he would go on this journey and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Just because...
And it also, like, just plays up that he's a bad dad. Like, why would he leave his kids when he was supposed to watch his kids that weekend?
So we gotta say is that Dan's the shittiest Halloween protagonist. Good God. Yeah, she finds him at a fucking bar.
Yeah. She knew where he would be. Yeah. She was like, this guy reminds me of my dad. I bet he's at the bar.
or she went to the hospital and they're like, he's at the bar.
Hey, he's drinking. Slap him on the ass for him when you get down there. Yeah, she's like, I've been doing some detective work, which really made me laugh. Yeah, they should have just made, like, her a private investigator or something like that.
Yeah. Well, they give her, like, so much stuff at the beginning that on paper makes her sound like an active heroine. And then, like, in the second half of the movie, they make her incompetent. It's really upsetting.
I really think the main fault of this movie is that they didn't have more time to work on it.
Yeah.
Because it comes out a year after Halloween 2.
Yeah, they were, like, trying to rush it out.
So it should have been 2 years later, and it would have been, like, more flashed out and all that stuff. Yeah, the part of the line that really makes me laugh is when they're in the hardware store looking for stuff.
I didn't know if it was a hardware store or a toy store. I couldn't tell from how they said
it's the dad's shop, right?
Yeah, but they never say. I'm assuming it's a toy store.
I'm assuming it's a hardware store because in the Halloween movies, that's where you buy your masks.
That's where the masks were. But I think
that's right.
Yeah, that's true.
But she was like, my father kept excellent records.
And she does pull out his book, and
he sure shit did. And like he never made it to a lunch with somebody. And that's when we found out about Santa Mira, California.
Yeah.
Which, what does Mira mean in Spanish? Does it mean look?
Yeah, I think it's like mirror, like a mirror.
So Saint Look.
Yeah, it's based off of. I think it's based off of the town from Village of the Damned. Or it was like inspired from that one. Because it kind of get that feeling when they drive in and like everybody's watching them.
Which this movie had a real big missed opportunity in which everybody in town, like, I just think about The World's End, how everybody in this fucking town should have been a robot.
Yeah,
should have been coming after them.
Yeah, at the end.
That was the thing that I thought was a little messy about this movie. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things that are messy about it.
You're right.
It was pulling from a lot because I like, there's like obviously Invasion of the Body Snatcher vibes, but then also there's like kind of this weird like Wicker Man vibe to it of like this town where everyone's part of this conspiracy. But yeah,
I think you're right in that like it needed more time because there's a lot of ideas that it brings up, but it doesn't really follow through on. I think.
So this episode is, we're not shitting on this movie. Constructive criticism.
Yeah, exactly.
So Tommy Lee Wallace, first of all, thank you for donating $5 to the Patreon. Second of all, answer that question that I asked you earlier that I forgot already. And third, you're welcome. We fixed your movie. Can you remake it? And oh yeah, that reminds me, Rob Schraub. Y'all watch Community?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, Rob Schraub, he's also working on Ghosted, which is pretty funny. Anyway, he has a shirt that is for Halloween 3 Part 2, Cochrane's Legacy, and it stars Max von Sydow. Look it up on the internet. It's very funny. I will post it on the Instagram, so you don't have to research this. Never mind.
Also, the second time I watched it, I kind of felt like this movie kind of has like an anti-immigrant type of feel to it. Like,
with the Irish community,
Irish people in the movie,
and there's stereotypes. Like the dude who owns the inn, he's like, did they bus him in from Ireland?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like everybody who works for Cochrane is from outside of town. They didn't nobody who actually lived in the town works for Cochrane.
We learned that from a homeless man who was there to just give out exposition and then immediately die.
And get killed.
Good God. It's horrible. So yeah, I wrote down that it's in Santa Mira. They said we gotta go to Santa Mira, and then I wrote Dan is a piece of shit. Why did I write that?
Because he calls. Oh, because he talks to his Linda on the phone, and she's like, "You were supposed to watch it." And he's like, "I know, but I got this thing. I have to go." He like lies to her, and
then he snatches his 6-pack off the top of the payphone and runs to the car. Jesus Christ, Dan. Ooh. So on the car ride there, we get a backstory for Santa Mira, which I think is the laziest form of exposition. Even lazier than the TV. He's like, oh yeah, it was 1887 farming community. After World War II, the toy factory was opened, and it's the largest manufacturer of Halloween masks. They make 3 masks.
Right. I know. That's what I thought too the first time I watched it. I was like, they just make those 3?
Right. And I love all this talk about they're like, Cochrane, he's one of the richest men in America.
He makes 3 masks.
It's like, what, off of toy? Like he makes novelties?
Yeah.
Which I will take that back because I was.
He make gag gifts too. They sort of mention that, but you don't see it.
Yeah, but later in the movie during the tour, I noticed there are more masks. They're just shoved in the background. There's like a zombie mask and a Frankenstein mask. Excuse me, Frankenstein's monster.
They didn't sell well. So.
Yeah, so they're just like, let's just stick with the 3. The big 3. The big Halloween 3.
The big Halloween 3.
Season of the Witch. Yeah, I just wrote down this town is very creepy.
Yeah.
Which, they should have gone full, body snatchers with that stuff and just had everybody a robot and, attack in the end.
Yeah, I'm surprised. There's not a lot of, you'd assume there'd be more, pushback from, the people who live there. Mm-hmm. I guess. I don't know. You don't really get their story.
Yeah. I wrote down they should have filmed this movie in Illinois since they filmed Illinois in California. Should have just flipped it. That's all I'm saying. Would have fucked us up.
Now it made sense when there were palm trees in the background.
Yeah. Let's see. Pose as a couple. Yeah. They were
that too.
They're gonna pose as a couple of buyers who are trying to get some more masks.
To get some information about the factory.
This whole fucking plan is so flimsy.
Yeah. Well, her dad was a buyer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's I don't know. They meet
as soon as they'd be like, "Oh, what? Where are you buying from?" They're like,
Well, she could say her dad's store.
She could.
Yeah, but then they would know that it was that guy who died. So maybe that wouldn't be a good idea.
This whole movie is full of bad ideas.
And they meet the other buyers, the Kupfers. I love Betty Kupfer. I love her style. She's got the purple coveralls and she's got curlers in her hair and stuff. She's so annoying, but she's funny.
I couldn't figure it out, but the song that they're blasting as they pull up in the RV, I think it's the song that Ed Harris is dancing to in Creepshow.
Oh,
really?
There's a disco hit.
That's so funny.
I think it's the same song. It sounds a lot like it.
Did this come out before or after Creepshow?
Creepshow was 83, I want to say.
So the same year.
Okay.
Was this 80? This is 82. I want to say.
I didn't write it down.
Oh, well, I didn't care enough to write it down.
But busy year for Tom Atkins.
Yeah, for sure.
With and without mustache.
Yeah.
The funniest part about the... this is just stupid. He's like, keep him busy. I'm going to go look at the records.
Nothing.
She doesn't do shit.
I know. That's why I'm so mad. They could have given her stuff to say and, distract him and stuff.
The funniest part about it was he goes and looks and then comes back and then tells him, I went to go there and I did this.
Yeah. He, left a tip and stuff. Yeah. It's don't tell him. Don't, it's distract him and then he just tells him what he just did. Anyway.
Yeah. So stupid. And then here's Mr. Cochran now. And then he rolls by in the slowest limo ever.
Yeah. He's a slow driver, just like...
He's driving.
His driver's... Maybe Michael's his driver.
Oh my God, maybe Michael is his driver.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's the connection.
Oh my God, so Michael
Myers is in this movie.
He's a chauffeur.
He's a chauffeur.
So all you some bitches who thought Michael Myers was in this movie, we proved you wrong. He is the chauffeur. You never see the chauffeur. You don't
know.
The actor who played Michael Myers in Halloween 2 plays one of the robots.
Yeah, Dick Warlock is the guy.
Which is one of the greatest names ever.
Yeah.
Dick Warlock is amazing.
Dick Warlock. God damn it. I'm too tired to do a bit about that name. I'm sorry, everybody. If this was last night, I could go on for 20 minutes about a Dick Warlock. What would a Dick Warlock do?
I don't know. What a warlock... Oh, they're wizards,
Yeah.
right?
He's a dick wizard.
He would cast spells on your dick, I guess.
Old dick spells.
Or just being a dick.
Or just be a dick.
He's just an asshole. Like, yeah, I can cure that mole on your face,
But I won't.
But I won't, you piece of shit. God damn, that Warlock's a dick. Well, they call him Dick Warlock. Yeah, there's Mr. Cochran. Yeah, then we were introduced to the Cutford family. Mm-hmm. And then...
with their shitty kid.
Good guy, little buddy.
Buddy Jr.
I love when he flips off his mom.
God. And then, what's her name?
Marge.
She rolls up and almost hits Tom Atkins. Everybody just trying to hit Tom Atkins. They probably figured out, like, this guy's a piece of shit. We better hit him.
Exactly, I would.
What if that happened? Like, he immediately died in the parking lot scene, and like Ellie had to take over.
That'd be make it a much better movie.
Yeah, for real.
In my opinion.
She puts on the mustache.
I roll to when they're in the.
She pulls it off his dead corpse.
I'm taking over this caper.
And then she puts the mustache.
She puts the mustache on. She immediately becomes an alcoholic.
She smacks Marge's ass.
But she slaps it right back.
I roll to when they're in the room and they're like trying to figure out where to sleep, and she's like, "Where do you want to sleep, Dr. Chalice?" I'm like, "What is this, a fucking porno?" Like,
also, first of all, I love how beforehand she's like, "So I found this thing, and if we go to the factory now," and he's like, "Whoa, hold up, I need a drink."
Yeah, exactly. Like, she's trying to like stay on task, and then
he's a piece of shit.
He's like, "We drove all the way out here, and I'm gonna help you, but first."
Yeah.
One more thing, going back to the parking lot scene. That scene just cracks me up just because it's basically like, hey, everybody, this is everybody that's going to die in this movie.
Yeah. It's like, here are the other characters in the movie.
Here are the victims.
True.
God, they literally bust them in.
Yeah.
They're like, we're already on page 20 of the script. We need to have.
And they bring them all in at once. It's so weird.
Yeah, Dan and Ellie kiss, which is like, it's the most unbelievable, like...
Also, the age difference is like 24 years in real life, and I'm like...
It's a Jack Bauer amount of years.
Like, I'm like, he's old enough to be your dad, and like, sure, that happens in real life, but like, it makes me so mad in movies when they don't just like hire actresses that are like, if she could have been 5 years older than that, like, it just makes me mad.
Also, I hate how they sleep together, and then he asks, "How old are you?"
Yeah. They sleep together, and then he's like, "Oh, by the way, how old are you?"
I was like, "Why are you asking?"
And she's like, "Older than I look." She was 22 in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, when they filmed it.
Let's see. Yeah, they got a 6 p.m. curfew.
And Jamie Lee Curtis is the voice of the announcer.
Oh, really?
Sure
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And the operator on the phone.
And the operator when he calls the phone later.
And she's the narrator from Escape from New York.
Oh, I didn't know that.
John Carpenter was just like, I just need your voice.
Yeah.
Like, you've
Jamie,
been chased.
could you do this over the phone for me?
Can you
please?
literally phone it in? Just like your friend Nancy. Security cameras everywhere. I wrote down that the bum coming out of the alley was a missed scare opportunity. You could have easily... A bum coming out scaring
Yeah,
Tom.
you could have grabbed him, yeah.
Could have.
Yeah.
Could have had a little scent playing. Would have been perfect. Saw that bottle. Thought it looked a little heavy. Good God.
And then they tear his head off.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite.
Really? Yeah.
Death scene of this movie.
That's where the first time I watched the movie, I like suspected that they were robots, but that was when I was like, oh, they're robots for sure.
Yeah.
They can tear people's heads off. Wake up, Nick.
It's alright, this movie's just boring. Yeah,
I thought you were a Halloween 3 apologist.
dude, the first time I watched this movie, I loved it. I loved it. Watching it now, not that much. I'm sorry, listener, if you were expecting me to talk about how much I love this movie. When we have Daryl on, we'll have him plead his case.
Have him plead his case. Do we have anything else to say about the head thing?
Oh no, I just wanted to talk about the bum and how much exposition he has, and how he keeps saying it's the last Halloween for that lousy factory, and how that keeps coming up the whole last Halloween thing. I wrote down, cheese whiz sandwich made me laugh.
Oh yeah.
And then,
he's squirting this thing.
Yeah.
And then he folds it. I should have made those for you guys. I'm sorry. I should have bought some cheese whiz. We should have folded
theme food.
a single piece of bread in half. Yeah, the head ripoff really cracks me up because the sound effect is that.
Yeah.
It's like the stereo. It's like a. I've heard it like 1,000 times in like cartoons or whatever. Ugh.
The scene after that is the once and only time that the movie passes the Bechdel test. And I feel like it's almost as if it was aware it was trying to pass the Bechdel test, which I don't think it was because it was too early for the Bechdel test to be a thing. Because it's Marge and Ellie, and Marge is like complaining about having to be there for the factory or whatever. They don't mention men at all. And it wouldn't have passed if we didn't know what Marge's name was. And at the very end, she's like, "Oh, by the way, my name's Marge Gutman. You should come visit my shop." It's like funny, but that's the only time it passes.
In San Diego,
yeah.
Marge Gutman. Marge Gutman. That's a horrible name.
I know. I'm wondering if, like, in an earlier draft, she was supposed to get gutted or something, and that was like a joke or something.
That would have been a good joke.
Yeah,
it was a good joke. Would have been a good joke. They didn't do it.
They didn't do it.
And then we get to Ellie getting out of the shower, which that part, she like runs and puts the comforter.
Like, was she cold?
I was like, well, did she take a cold shower? Like, well, why was she? Why?
It's such a weird moment. You're like, why is she doing it?
I was freaking out the entire time. Like, does Santa Mira have a hot water crisis? Like, what's going on?
Well, it's past curfew.
Yeah,
they turn off the hot water.
You have to be inside, but guess what? Yeah. No hot water. We use all the hot water for the masks.
I also wrote she like packed her sexy lingerie to like run over.
Yeah.
To see if her dad's body was her dad.
Especially because they had the whole joke of like the hotel attendant pulls out like, you guys are light packers, and of
it's
course
like her makeup case or something.
Jesus Christ!
And yet, she has this whole.
Did she buy that in town? She might have just bought it in town. So the whole like romance subplot of this movie is lazy.
It shouldn't have. There shouldn't have been a romance subplot.
No. And then I think Dan calls.
I like this kill too.
Oh, of Marge.
Yeah.
Well, before that, Dan calls Teddy.
I think he calls Teddy after the kill.
Well, I wrote down, was Ellie's shower cold? Then I wrote down plastic and metal shavings.
Okay, that's fine.
And then I wrote down sex scene. They just met. Mustache?
Yeah. Mustache?
Yeah, she says, I'm older than I look. Jesus Christ, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
All right, so you have like a microchip.
On the button.
On a button. And you're wondering, what's this? What do? You pull out a bobby pin. Start fiddling with it.
She just, she was curious.
And then you get your face lasered. Why did she do that?
Well, were microchips like a big, well-known thing? Like, maybe she just didn't know what it was.
I don't know.
But also, it shouldn't have laser killed her.
Right.
It was a misfire.
Yeah. But it might have sparked or something, but it wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
She didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, like busts open her face and then like bugs come out.
Ugh, that's gross.
It's so awesome.
Yeah, but the face thing looks so good.
Yeah, the makeup effects in this movie are pretty good.
Yeah. I wrote down, what's up with Nan's handkerchief again?
Yeah. And in the telephone call with Teddy, he asks her to look up Cochran, and then you see that someone's listening in because there's a bug in there.
Oh, yeah, I wrote that. That's later on. So, but before that is, so obviously, I think this is hours have passed because they're still doing the sex scene.
They didn't tell us, though. They didn't tell us 4 hours later.
Yeah, they should have fucking told us. That would have happened here. that would have done well here, but 1 hour later we have to know. But it's obviously that it's like 4 hours later because they're carting her off. Silver Shamrock is.
Yeah, they don't have a hospital. They just take everybody to the factory.
Yeah, I love how. Okay, so Cochran, the guy who runs the factory, he also runs the hospital.
The guy with the slow limo. It's a misfire.
Yeah, so okay, and maybe we can save this for later for when we actually get to the factory. But that's something I'm confused about. Is so there's a microchip. In the tags on the masks.
Yeah. I don't understand, why wouldn't people tear the tags off? Like, why do they want the tags on there?
How often do you buy a hat and keep the tag on?
Well, that's how you know it's genuine.
That's how you know it's genuine, yeah.
That's what these masks are like. They're like, my kid has a fucking shamrock.
Were you about to say about my kid has a shit mask? My kid's got a shit mask.
I was trying to remember what is it called? Something.
Silver Shamrock.
My kid has a fucking silver shamrock mask.
It's like having a Louis bag or something.
$15.99.
It was $60 off Trick or Treat Studios.
But yeah, I was trying to piece together. So are these microchips? Are they triggered by Stonehenge? Are they like putting a piece of Stonehenge?
This is what I think. This is how I think the technology works. You got a little piece of stone dust.
Gotcha.
Up in the mask.
Okay.
The lights of the pumpkin on the TV trigger
sends a transmitter to
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because if you see in the scene the logo on the mask, it glows.
That's right. Okay.
So, yeah, that's the only part of this movie that makes sense.
Sort of.
Yeah, I wrote down bad editing because they fade to the morning. Because they're like, let's wait till the morning, and like they're like, okay, and then it fades to like later in the morning, and the only thing that's changed is Ellie is laying down instead of sitting up in the bed, and then it cuts to like him just sitting like at the phone for like 30 seconds, it feels like, and then Teddy finally picks up. They could have just cut to Teddy picking up.
Yeah, Teddy picking up on the phone.
Jesus Christ. We're on Saturday the 30th, by the way, listener. We finally made it. We're 1 day away.
1 day till Halloween.
Oh my God, that was 1 day till Halloween. Silver Shamrock. Yeah, I wrote down the room was bugged, and then parentheses, no pun intended. Just because of all the bugs that come at your face. So there's no bone fragment or teeth.
No, it's just like things, like technological things or whatever.
Technological things.
She's like pieces of the car, maybe, or something. Yeah.
That's very weird.
It's very weird. She's like, oh, they messed it up. It was supposed to be the body, but they brought me some part of the car.
Ugh. Life in that dentist office is horrible.
Is that when he's like, she's like, okay, but you'll owe me a few dinners, and he was like, oh, I'd love to take you to dinner.
Oh yeah, he's like,
oh yeah,
God, and she has, God, no, Dan, nobody likes you.
Nobody likes you except everybody, I guess.
It's the mustache.
That's how you know the movie is written by a man, and Deborah Hill didn't have any hand in writing the script.
Yeah, I think. Okay, now they go to the Silver Shamrock.
The factory.
And then they do another suited man walking in the frame scare.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's all over the place. It's Dick Warlock every time.
Yeah. Dick! Dean Cundy's like, Tommy, he's in the frame again.
Get out of the shot.
Get out of there, Dick! Dick! He's like, I did the stunts in Escape from... We don't care if you did the stunts for Escape from New York. Anyway.
And they're about to give up, right? They talk to the lady.
Oh, yeah, they talked about... Yeah, then the guy comes in and he's like, matter of fact, yeah.
I'm giving a tour.
He's like, yeah, they... Or the other guy from the factory was like, yeah, he picked him up and he never came back. Sorry about your pops, but I gotta go. I gotta make 3 masks. And then Mr. Cochran comes in, and so does Buddy, and because he sold the most masks, is why we found out he's there.
Yeah,
sold the most masks.
So I guess he won a tour to the.
Yeah, isn't that funny? You win factory. A tour. He probably also won like money or something. Yeah. I don't know. The guided tour thing, I really like. After watching that, I really want to go to a like how they make Halloween masks. Like I actually want to go to a factory and see how they do it in real life.
Yeah.
Probably pretty similar to what they showed in the movie.
Yeah, but I just want to like be there and smell all
In
that.
person, yeah.
Smell all that and them nasty fumes. Dude, I got a mask that I got from Black Mile Super Rainbow. And Jesus Christ, that fucking mask smelled horrible. Like my whole room smelled like latex for the longest time.
From the one mask.
Yeah, and like I still have it, but you can still smell that fucking latex smell, and it's not good to smell. But you know, I kind of want to get high off them fumes. So if you own Trick or Treat Studios, if you've heard this, I would like to come down to the factory and see them with the mask. Yeah. So I want to see how the cheese is made in that turn.
I think it's funny how like Ellie and Dan are like pretending to be like a couple, even though now they are a couple. It's like kind of weird how they like play it up.
They're Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
Fucking come up with a better name.
Yeah.
We're the Smiths.
We're the Smiths.
And then I love how Cochran's like, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
I know this bullshit. I feel like Cochran knows everything that is going on at all times.
Because there's cameras all over the town.
And then we're introduced to final processing.
Yeah. Which is just putting the button on, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Lot of trade secrets.
It's interesting how he chose to victimize the guy that sold the most masks.
That's very fucked up.
Yeah, like he chose to like.
You won. Time to die.
Time to die. Time for your son and your family to die.
Let's see, and then I wrote down Papa's car.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's another stupid move that Ellie makes. Like, she should have thought that through to, like, instead of, like, oh, that's my dad's car, and then run straight towards it. Like, that's something you keep to yourself and then whisper later on. Like,
yeah.
It's so dumb.
Real quick, can you turn your microphone towards you? No. The actual microphone itself. Nope, turn it the other way. There you go.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. I thought it all caught. Oh, well.
It was just bothering me. I don't know if there's no sound difference. It was just bothering me. Yeah, I wrote down again, like, I feel like this movie was rushed when they made it, because it was. They should have waited. At least another year. Silver Shamrock.
And that's when he tries to call the police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jamie Lee Curtis says,
Nah, no phone. No phone calls for you.
None phone calls.
None phone calls.
Hi, it's Jamie Lee Curtis for none phone calls. Old JLC. Let's see. And then that moment, the men in suits take Ellie.
Yeah, she goes missing. Yeah.
That's right.
Which this runaway sequence is very cool to me. When he's like sneaking around, like trying to run away from those guys.
Yeah, I like when he like goes and hides in each little nooks and crannies as they run by.
Yeah, and then and then with the blocking of the car going by and all that stuff.
Yeah,
it's really
good.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like a good running sequence in which, you know, the blocking is all over the place. I like blocking in movies.
I agree.
Sue me, okay?
Direction.
I like it when the camera moves. I like it when people move. I like when objects move while the people move and then the camera moves. I love movement. It's the name of my autobiography. Then I wrote Dan breaks in. Yeah, he breaks in, sees sees a knitting lady.
That lady is so creepy.
Yeah, so that's probably like the scariest part of the movie for me.
I love that part though. And her head falls right off.
Although I do love how he just like immediately goes to shaking her.
Yeah. Where is she?
Dan sucks.
He chooses to like confront an old woman knitting.
She looked like she was in her 90s, and he runs up to her and shakes her.
Where is she?
She's probably deaf.
But it's terrifying.
Yeah,
just like the way it's lit.
Yeah.
She's just.
I just recently watched this movie called Tourist Trap, which I don't know if you've ever seen it. They remade it. The movie House of Wax.
Okay, yeah.
Is a remake of this movie, of Tourist Trap.
Oh.
Even though it's called House of Wax, which is another old movie with Vincent
the
Price.
remake of House of Wax is really
a remake of Tourist Trap.
Oh, I want to watch it now.
Tourist Trap is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole knitting thing, because they have a bunch of like animatronic figures in Tourist Trap.
Gotcha.
So I just want to plug Tourist Trap real quick to the listeners, and thank you for donating $5 to the Arcade Audio Patreon. This is probably going to get released in a year for free.
For free. Oh, nice.
And so this joke is not going to make any sense, and I'm not going to cut it out. I'm sorry. Or we may
You should probably cut the part where you say it's going to be released for free. right?
I should probably.
Yeah.
It's a year though.
It's a year though. They'll people be like, oh, I guess I'll keep paying $5 to listen.
That's an idea we've had. It may not be released for free. You never know. We made
365 days till Halloween.
We made us record new episodes.
365 days to Halloween.
Would you want to record these movies, these episodes again in a year? That's what just an idea that just popped in my mind.
I don't know. I'm sure the episodes will be a lot shorter.
For fucking real, or longer.
Or longer.
We probably won't even talk about the movies the entire time.
You just listen to your old episodes and then do a podcast about the old episodes.
God, that's the most
so
meta
I feel
shit.
like when Nick said this, it was really bad and problematic.
Let's see. And then Dick Warlock comes out of nowhere and grabs Dan, and they get in a little scuffle.
And then he punches him to death.
Yeah, and then he punches, and then goop comes out of him, and he pulls wires
it's
out.
like egg yolk.
When I saw it, at first I thought, oh my god, is he going to pull pumpkin seeds out of him? Because
Dude, that would have been amazing.
That would have been awesome.
Because it's like this orange goo.
Yeah.
And it looked like, reaching into a pumpkin.
So in our remake, we have to have that.
Yes.
We definitely got to have that.
Yeah.
We're going to have Invasion of the Body Snatchers, whole town attacking everybody. Female protagonist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, like lesbians. Like Nancy Loomis and Ellie, lesbians.
I think it'd be good. And Nancy Loomis is not a doctor in this situation.
Yeah.
Ellie comes
a
back to the
detective.
town and is like, I'm sorry, but your husband's dead. Here's his mustache. What are you doing tonight?
Burning this mustache, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, the yellow goo bit was really cool. Yeah, I wrote down he was the toy employee. And the part that cracks me up is Cochran comes in and doesn't even know that Dan is there.
Yeah.
He just goes clumsy,
Yeah.
and then he looks over and goes, "Oh." And then I wrote down the handkerchief comes into play
Oh, it does.
because he wipes his hands off with the handkerchief.
He likes. Maybe that's what it's for, just to have a one to clean.
that-
He's also OCD.
He's also OCD. Yeah.
It's a very long setup and payoff, and you barely even notice it. It took me 3 viewings for me to notice it again. And now we're finally on Sunday the 31st, Halloween. And just want to say I like Dan O'Hurley's performance. Mm-hmm. He is over the top, chewing the scenery in every scene, and it is amazing.
That's Cochran.
Yes.
Yeah. He's creepy.
Yeah,
I
Stonehenge.
love how he says Stonehenge ancient technology.
Ancient
like,
technology.
Rocks.
Rocks, ancient technology.
Every time I see a rock now, I'm going to refer to it as ancient technology. This whole house built brick by brick, ancient technology. Yeah, the Stonehenge piece, when they cheese at the beginning of the movie, you're like, oh yeah, they're going to bring that
Yeah,
back.
that's for coming back. Yeah, it's so prominent.
Final processing, that's where the Stonehenge piece is. Yeah, and I was questioning how they moved the Stonehenge piece. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty
they don't explain it.
Yeah, he says it was a long process, but I'm pretty sure it was the same way that Michael Myers moved the headstone.
They picked it up and took it.
They just got, no, he's the chauffeur. We figured this out. Michael just picked it up. He's the chauffeur, and he did it. That's it. And then, they say again, no Halloween next year. Jesus Christ. Are they talking about the Halloween movies?
They're
not coming
I have
back?
no idea.
They're like, we're ruining this franchise. So
It's like, we did this on
You're
purpose.
partly right.
And then the demonstration with the Kupfers.
Yeah, I just wrote, what?
For that?
Yeah, because, I don't understand how they died. It's just, is it snake bites that killed them?
Yeah, I think what happens, so Betty Kupfer, you never even see her how she dies.
She just, collapses.
Yeah, and I just assumed since she has snakes crawling
it was
on her.
radiation or something from I don't know.
Yeah, but I just assumed she died from a
snake bite.
The snake, because she has snakes on her face.
Yeah.
Which is another Samuel Jackson movie coming out soon. Snakes on her face. So
Season of the Witch.
yeah, snakes on the face. No, it's Halloween 3 Part 3.
The mask, deteriorating and the stuff coming out is scary.
That's
looks
really cool.
good. Yeah.
On little buddy.
On Little Buddy. Yeah.
But yeah, and then regular Buddy gets bit by a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Which, that was the coolest thing. If I die and I melt, I want a rattlesnake. People. Yeah, that whole sequence, like, why did...
It's just not... I wasn't very clear on, like, what was actually happening.
Yeah.
Like, how it exactly works, but it's not necessary, I guess.
Well, it's ancient technology.
It's ancient technology.
Also,
I feel like the commercial, like, hypnotizing, too? Because, like, the kids have, like, such a
Wait,
weird...
did you just say hypnotizing?
Hypnotizing?
Sorry, I had to poke fun at you.
You have to every time. The kids have like such a strange attraction to the commercial. Like even when it's on, they like have to watch it.
I think that's the thing with it. Like big back in the '80s, they were like, these kids, they watch too much television,
too much TV. Like it's the end sequence, but like that kid keeps changing the channel. I'm like, just let it be over.
I think it's a social commentary on how much we consume media.
I thought it was probably something like that.
Ugh.
I think the commentary was better in the Josie and the Pussycats movie, but that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I wrote down little Buddy, he turns into bugs and snakes, and then Buddy gets snake bit, and then Betty, I just wrote question marks, and then wrote passes out.
Who knows?
And then we go to, so at 9 o'clock after the big giveaway, we find out that all these kids are going to be wearing these masks, are going to become bugs and snakes.
When he starts
So I guess all the kids are going to be home after trick-or-treating, and then they're going to turn the TV on.
Yeah. Which it cuts to the coolest montage in film history.
Oh, yeah.
God,
It's really neat.
It's such cool because it's like all throughout the United States, every kid has these masks and they're all trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Which, okay, that is a plot hole that I mean...
That they would all be trick-or-treating at the same time.
And also, it's like, there are 4 different time zones in the United States.
We've established in this podcast that it takes 7 hours to trick-or-treat. You start at 3 p.m. And you stop at 10.
But,
and everybody's going to get home at a different time to watch the big giveaway? Or does the giveaway happen in a sequence?
Let's see.
Is it sequential to different time zones?
I think it's all in the same time. Because if you think about it, every time we've seen the commercial, it's been in California. We've never seen this commercial play in like New York or whatever. So it's
like Eastern Standard Time.
So it's like it plays at 11 o'clock. Kids aren't going to be up at 11.
Yeah.
Cochrane's playing.
But that's the thing is like if it's 9 o'clock in California, it's like
late,
midnight on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So
kids are in bed.
Thank you, Peyton.
You're welcome.
The funny part about this is they reuse footage of Dan's kids from earlier in the movie when they're watching the TV.
Yeah.
Robot
Are those
dude.
kids related to anyone? Do you know?
Those kids?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I was just wondering if they were related to someone in the crew.
Are you looking?
That's when we get that's when it's revealed that Cochrane is a witch.
Yeah, and it's like that was
They're like, remember this movie's called Season of the Witch? Yeah, this guy's a witch.
But
by the way, it's this dude, not a woman, like you thought it was going to be.
But yeah, we get such a like kind of, to me, like underwhelming supervillain motivation.
Yeah,
he's just kind of like, well, this is tradition. This is what we do. Yeah. So,
before that, we get the Teddy's death, where she gets the drill to the head.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah.
Which the camera, like anytime I watch a movie and there's like a frame.
And then there's
a door in the background that's slightly open.
Yeah.
I'm like, somebody's coming to that door.
Yeah. I love that she's like listening to slow jams while she's like making phone calls. There's like this like bar music playing
with this weird like circular.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's one thing I was wondering is it's like she's playing with this thing and then like, what is it about that thing that makes her panic? And she's like, get me the sheriff.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think it's because she's like, it's not a car part.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, she learned all her mechanic skills from Michael Myers.
That's right.
She knows.
As he was chauffeuring her.
Yeah.
Michael Myers is the greatest
she
mechanic
is like
in film
all
history.
of a sudden very like worried. I don't know what it is.
It's dumb. Oh, yeah, I wrote down how was Teddy able to figure out he was a robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Power drill to the head. Ugh, horrible death.
Yeah.
Now it's 7:30. Time to monologue. Yeah, because I wrote down Sam Hain, because he was talking about Sam Hain at the Festival of Samhain.
Yeah.
Which, Sam Hain, Samhain. Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, is that just Sam Hain, just pronounced differently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There it is.
Yep. According to Wikipedia, that is. I don't know.
Somebody was really interested in Sam Hain. They were like, because it comes up in the second one, and then they were like, let's really lean into it.
But let's use a thesaurus and call it Samhain. Yeah, but I mean, that's, what Halloween's all about, so.
Yeah. It feels like that whole subplot is just, like, pasted on this story to make it a Halloween story.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Enjoy the horror-thon, and don't forget to watch the big giveaway at the end.
Yeah, we see Halloween on TV again. Yeah. Playing Rory's theme.
Yeah, at least he left him with something to watch.
I wrote down, what if the rest of the movie was just footage
of... going to come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote down, what if the rest of the movie was just footage of Tom Atkins watching Halloween? The rest of the
so
movie.
Again, in that remake that we make.
It's just him watching Halloween for another 20 minutes. Yeah, at this point in the movie, there's I kept looking at the timer because I was like, when is this movie going to end?
Yeah.
And there's 13 minutes left in the movie at this point.
Of the movie left. Well, there's one point where...
So much shit happens in that 13 minutes.
Yeah. There's one point where I was like, this probably should have been the end of the movie. But I do like the way that they end it, too, where it's like...
On the cliffhanger?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, then he breaks the TV and uses to cut the binds.
Yeah,
and then he throws the most accurate mask.
I know.
That's what I thought. Even though his arms are half held down,
yeah,
he can throw it up and catch it on the camera.
He's so good.
He's a doctor. Yeah, it's okay.
And I think I read on the Wikipedia or something that was an homage to the first movie with the mask eyes.
Oh, the perspective.
From the Michael's perspective.
Yeah, I wrote down pulling a James Bond Dr. No and escaping through the air vent.
Yeah,
which that was kind of cool. Oh yeah. Cochrane's on the phone.
And he's like, shut up, Linda.
No, I was talking about how Cochrane...
Oh, yeah, who's he talking to?
Oh, Cochrane's on the phone.
Yeah, he's talking on the phone, and the guy's like, sir. And he's like, looks at him, and the guy's like... he couldn't, be like, the guy escaped.
Yeah, no, he had to
He
wait.
wasn't programmed to interrupt.
Yeah. like Cochrane had a meeting. He was like, everybody listen, do not interrupt me while I'm on the phone. I don't care if somebody has escaped and is running around calling his ex-wife.
Well, that's the other one. It's again, there's the OCD robot, the sneezing robot, the very polite robot.
We're giving them personality traits.
I like how Linda, Nancy
They're
Loomis...
named after the Seven Dwarves.
Yeah.
Nancy Loomis gets punished for being a good mom because she got her kids expensive masks for Halloween, and he brought these dinky plastic ones, but her kids are going to die because she was a good mom.
She's going to get the best for her children.
And on the phone, he's like, shut up, Linda, don't let him wear the mask. And she's like, you're just jealous because you didn't get him good masks.
Yeah. Then she says he's drunk, and he has to say, I'm not drunk. Something I wrote, what's the geography of this factory?
Yeah.
It's never really explained the geography of this place.
Yeah.
Because he's just running around. That's all it is. Where is he at this point?
It's not clear.
And then he saves Ellie, who, we forgot to mention, it was revealed through security footage that she is strapped to a bed.
Yeah.
Saves her. Oh, yeah.
And she has no dialogue.
Yeah, she does. God, yeah. Horrible.
I think that's supposed to be for the twist later on, but then some of the robots do talk, so I don't know.
I think she does talk at some point.
She doesn't.
She doesn't?
I paid attention to it this last time. She doesn't have any dialogue from when he saves her until it's revealed that she's a robot.
Wow.
Because that's how he realizes that she's weird, because in the car he's like, hey, how are you? What's wrong? Yeah. And she doesn't say anything.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention, obviously.
But before that, this sequence is cool. This whole sequence.
Which one?
Where he kills
sneaking
all
around
the robots and stuff.
Oh yeah. I wrote down that the robots have horrible eyesight.
Yeah.
Because he sneaks.
Yeah.
And gets right at the control panel. And they're all they have to do.
Also, he knows exactly what buttons to press to make it go.
And there's a guy that's probably 20 feet away, and he could have been like, "Wait,
who's that guy sneaking around?
Is that a doctor who shouldn't be here?" Oh man, yeah. Why can't they get? And then he does the broadcast thing, and then the lab coat guys, they can't stop it. Why can't they stop it?
They don't know how to turn it off.
Yeah, I have no idea why the lab guys can't turn it off.
Yeah, turn it off.
They weren't programmed to be scientists.
We were only programmed to move rock dust into microchips.
And press off and on.
And sneeze. That's the most important thing.
Oh my god, they're very lifelike.
Their personality budget was huge. Their function budget, not so much.
Not so much. Yeah, the part that then Dan does that, and then he runs up with the boxes and throws the
badges down.
And that part's pretty cool because the sparks flying on and stuff.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Pretty smart, Tom Atkins.
Yeah, and I was like, that's probably like one of the smartest moments in the movie, I think.
It's the only cool thing he does. And then then I wrote down the TV Ring of Death, in which the ring goes around. Oh, that part's so cool. And all Cochran can do is just give a
the slow
respect, man, respect.
Yeah. You got me, dude.
You got me.
So and then does Cochran? Does he just like disappear, or
he turns to stone? I think it looks like he turns to stone and then he disappears. It's very, very weird.
He got sucked into the energy. Maybe he's the sacrifice.
Whoa,
to the gods. Or whatever they're sacrificing to Sam Hain, I guess. So then they make their getaway, and that's when he realized something's wrong with Ellie.
And she's a robot.
Yeah.
Which that whole...
I don't understand, like, if she's a robot, why didn't she malfunction too when he did the thing?
And are we supposed...
First of all, I hate that she has like an off-screen death, and we have no idea like what happened to her.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
But just plot-wise, like why didn't she malfunction too? And like why didn't she try to stop him if she's a robot that works for them?
I think she didn't, because she was just high up.
She didn't really know what was going on.
She was just high up.
Yeah, she was high up, so maybe she wasn't in the radius of the thing. But there were the robots that were going up the stairs to get him.
Well,
and they
were kind of lower than him.
They were kind of low down. And she was kind of high up.
That's why it didn't affect her. I'm trying.
You're trying to give it more credit.
I'm trying to give it more credit.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And I hate it kind of gives him an excuse to like rough up a lady on screen.
Yeah. And by the way, the head ripping off thing and her they clearly stole that from Alien.
Yeah, it's like almost the exact shot of like the robot from Alien being decapitated.
Which John Carpenter and Dan O'Bannon were friends.
Yeah, well, Dan O'Bannon wrote his first movie, Dark Star.
Yeah,
and he's in it. But
yeah. I do like the thing with her arm, like I like the arm in the car attacking him. That's good.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as I was like, anytime you see a severed arm in a movie, you know it's going to attack somebody.
Yeah.
But also, like, how is her tiny hand able to choke him? Like, just the one hand. It can't even get all the way around his throat.
Let's test this later.
She's older than she looks.
She's older than she looks. 22.
Let's see. And then, she's ripped apart. And, oh, God. Yeah, I wrote down they spend too much time with this robot fight.
Yeah.
Too much time.
Yeah.
Just in the movie already.
I was looking at the reviews, and like I think it's notable that Roger Ebert said that actress was like a really good actress, and he was like, she deserved better dialogue for this movie, and it's sad that like her last moments are just decapitated with no head.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he finally, so the car won't start for some reason, so he has to run, and it's a repeat of what happened.
Well, he ran the car into the tree because she started choking him.
Listen, have you seen Jack Reacher? He can drive that car.
Okay, but so now here's where I have a question. I have a question about the distance here. So, because it made it seem like that they had to drive far away to get to Santa Mira. But in the beginning of the movie, the father was running to this junkyard.
Yeah.
And then the local hospital was Tom Atkins Hospital.
Yeah.
So how far is
Santa
Mira from
the town that they're in the beginning?
I don't think it's that much because
but it seemed like
she packed light.
Right. But it just like it seemed like that Tom Atkins was like, I've never heard of this little town. But it's like if it's that close, I don't know.
Shut up. You're poking too many holes in this movie.
That's one hole too many.
Yeah.
So then he runs
movie's
to
not
the...
I was trying to give it credit with the London bridges, but
You gave it too much credit. Yeah, the part, he runs back to the gas station, and then Walter, the gas station attendant's like, "Hey, don't I know you?"
Hey, you look familiar.
he's like, I don't want any trouble. It's just helping people.
And who is he talking to when he's telling them to? Is he talking to the big three, all three
Police
networks?
station, I don't know.
Like,
Yeah, no, he's talking to the TV networks because he's saying, yeah,
But he's talking to someone who's in control of all 3 channels.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's true.
He's like, turn it off on the 3rd channel.
So, did he call the FCC?
Yeah.
Oh man! And of course, we don't know if the last channel got turned off or not.
Yeah. I'm shocked that the first 2 channels got turned off. Like,
Me too.
in real life, some crazy person calls us like, it's killing people. They'd be like, okay, bye. And hang up.
They take threats very seriously.
I used to work at a news station, and like we were at the front desk sometimes, and because this news station was so cheap, they didn't have a receptionist. They were like,
Yeah.
we'll just get people to do a shift. Like they had like the guy who recorded he used to do the voiceovers for the commercials, like local ads. He worked the reception desk sometimes. He's like, all right, I'm a voice actor, but okay. It's weird way to save money.
Could you imagine picking up the phone and having your
Like the guy from the commercials.
Hi, thank you for calling. Yeah.
hold on, I'll transfer your call.
But yeah, but you get crazy people calling at the news station all the freaking time.
So, like they wouldn't take it seriously.
No. I remember one time I got a weird, like, a person came in
Yeah.
and was saying, like, because there was a missing person. They're like, oh, there's such and such. And I was like, okay, why'd you come to the news station? And then I called the director, like, one of the news guys, and I was like, what do I tell this person? He just went, tell them to call the police. And that made me laugh. And I was like, yeah, call the police. And then she like, oh, okay. And then ran out of there. I was like... And
the police were like, call the news station.
Yeah, it turns out the woman was insane. So yeah, wrapping up this movie, we got the closing credits. And so the whole movie we call his name is Dan.
Uh-huh.
But in the credits he's credited as Daniel.
Yeah. They put his full name.
So
They should have put PhD.
They should have.
Well, they call
I
him
think they
Doctor.
do.
They call him Dr. Daniel, whatever.
Daniel Chalice.
Yeah. Ugh. That's the end of it, thank God.
Nick looks really just done.
He's tired.
I'm done. What's the rating scale for this one going to be? Malfunctioning robots?
I think it should be ancient technology. What? I don't know.
What type of... Okay, yeah, to review this movie, what type of ancient technology would you assign this film?
How many stones?
How many Stonehenges?
On a
Out of
scale
100?
Oh, out of 100.
No,
Or
it
out
would
of
be
10?
out of
How
10.
many
Out of 10.
Stonehenge?
Out of 10 hinges. We have to come up with a rating system every episode.
Yeah.
It just makes me laugh.
Out of 10 hinges.
Masks or
I would give it...
Out of 3 masks. Yeah, let's just do out of 3 masks.
out of 3 masks, I would
Yeah.
give it 1 mask.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to give it a mask.
yeah.
I would give it 1. I think the music is really good. I think the effects are really good. A lot of like the shots are good. I just think the writing's poor. It needed more development time, I think. And I'm just really confused as to like why this character is the lead character. He doesn't have any stakes. I would have been much more interested in like Ellie's story as the main character.
He sucks.
He sucks.
All right, and we also have a pumpkin scale. So out of 100 pumpkins, 1 being the worst, 100 being the best. How many pumpkins would you rate this movie?
I'm gonna go ahead and actually give it 60 pumpkins.
Wow.
Because
Generous.
I'll be generous because I mean it's not a good movie.
Yeah.
It's the plotting is a mess and all that. But I'm going to give it a little bit of credit for the look of it, and I'm a sucker for the aesthetic of those sort of fun 80s horror movies. And I appreciate the idea of trying to do an anthology series, and I'm sorry it didn't work out.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good first in a series.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm curious
And
if
I think it did do a good job of stepping away from
Sure.
the first 2 Halloweens.
Yeah.
I'm curious if it had been more successful, what other stories would have come out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
We'll never know. We'll have to wait for Rob Zombie's remake of it. What if he remade Season of the Witch? Oh God. Anyway, Peyton, what do you rate it?
Out of I'd say like 33 pumpkins.
Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking 42.
Okay. There you go.
And we're gonna steal from another arcade audio show, Married with
MVP,
Movies.
LVP.
Married with Movies does this thing, and they have most valuable, like MVP, LVP. So who's the MVP for this movie, and the LVP?
I mean, I'm going to say my man Dean Cundy and Dick Warlock.
There you go.
I think MVP for me is Nancy Loomis. I think she's even over the phone she gives a great performance.
Yeah.
She's great.
She's good. LVP. I don't know. It's tough. I guess
Tom Atkins.
I mean, Tom Atkins doesn't give a bad performance.
No.
Like the
It's just his character.
But just
It's
his
just
character is the
terrible.
LVP of this movie.
For me, the MVP is the score, and the LVP is Tom Atkins.
But the MVP is that mustache.
Yeah.
My God. If that score had a mustache, this movie would be unstoppable.
That score is the mustache of the movie.
Oh, man. Let's see. What do we do now? Social media?
Oh, yeah, we plug social media.
Let's see. What do we got? Welcome to Haddonfield on Instagram. All of our personal Instagrams. All that shit. I'm tired.
Follow Riverside Falls and listen to Queer Movie Night.
There's two, I was about to say websites, 2 podcasts that you'll enjoy.
You can follow Queer Movie Night on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And you can follow me at Peyton Cody Lynch on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm Nick Lathan. Please follow me. I don't do anything.
You want to plug
Don't
your
do
stuff,
right.
Steven? Steven takes pictures on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
You have an Instagram?
Yeah. Follow my photography. My Instagram is Steve_Barroga. It's BARROGA.
Slow down. The app just opened. Underscore?
Steve_Barroga.
Steve_. There you are. Yep. You're followed by Peyton. That must be you.
That must be.
That's true.
I just screwed you up. You had 300 followers. Or 323 mirrored numbers. Now you got 324.
Oh, no.
I apologize.
I'm offended by having higher numbers.
Up under you is Steve Byrne Tattoo.
What?
I don't know. All right, it's going to be...
Yeah. And then, should we say what our next thing is? I mean, obviously.
It's going to be Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers.
With Kathleen Kinlan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Recording that later this week. I'm excited about that one. I haven't seen the movie in 20 years.
Wow.
It's been a while
Yeah.
for me, too, yeah.
It's been a while.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you should. Yeah, take this time to watch
Yeah,
all of it.
I'm curious to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, because originally I was going to do the Rob Zombie one.
Yeah.
And I started to watch all these John Carpenter movies and all of these Rob Zombie movies. But then you're like, Season of the Witch. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, which is good because you've never seen it.
Yeah.
And Rob Zombie ones.
So that's the funny thing is because I'm an apologist.
Really?
for that.
We may have to bring you back. Oh, man. Yeah, I saw that movie in the theater, and I was texting people, and I was like, "Did I see this in the theater with you?"
I've never seen the Rob Zombie one.
I am one of the few people I know where I stand by that Rob Zombie is a good filmmaker.
Dude, Devil's Rejects is very good.
Devil's Rejects is amazing.
Yeah.
I love what House of Thousand Corpses started or was trying to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, but I love Malcolm McDowell, and I love
Malcolm McDowell's
and
great.
so
he's a good Loomis.
Yeah, and also Brad Dourif, who's the voice of he's famous for being the voice of Chucky, and he was in
Deadwood.
Deadwood. He was a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He plays the sheriff, and he is great in that. Just I feel like the acting in the Rob Zombie Halloween movies.
I just don't like the whole origin story thing.
Oh yeah. It takes away the
Mystery.
The mythos.
Yeah, and it's the fear of Michael Myers is behind the fact that you know so little about him, and so that I see as a flaw. So,
Well,
So some extra bonus info on
yeah,
Rob
come back when we do that one. We're just going to replay that clip.
yeah, right.
All right. Well, Stephen, thank you for being on the podcast. And
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
it's been great. And everybody, thank you for listening. And how are we going to end this? What's a good quote to end this on? Find a quote.
Find a quote. No, I closed my notes.
That bottle looked heavy.
That bottle looked heavy.
They're going to kill us, all of us.
Thank you for playing Arcade Audio. Play more at arcadeaudio.net.